The year started off great with titles like Fire Emblem Engage, Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe, Octopath Traveler 2 and technically Metroid Prime Remastered. Will March be that exciting too? I know the answer and we'll discuss that with you by going over 18 games that will come out during the month. This is Nintendo Maniac with the Nintendo release report of March. When you like the video, please hit that like button, consider subscribing, and hey, drop a comment and let me know which game or games you're looking forward to playing in March. So let's start where the month starts, March 1st, because we have a real banger here. The time has come to spread your wings, embark on a journey like no other. I can't do it. My Universe, My Baby Dragon is a pet simulation game, with of course dragons. If that's your thing, please go for it, but be warned, the gameplay video contained a lot of loading screens, and I mean a lot. Maybe you're a boxing fan or a fitness freak, or maybe a fan of Fist of the North Star, then you might want to pick up Fitness Boxing Fist of the North Star on March 2nd from the eShop. This game was featured in the Nintendo Direct of September, but I'll be surprised if a lot of people will be picking this up. If you're one of them, go on, surprise me and put it down in the comments. March 3rd is when the real release action begins. Void Terrarium 2 is an RPG dungeon crawler set in a dystopian world. I haven't played the first game myself, it did get good reviews, but what really amazes me is how the game looks. It's just so unique. I might give it a go, but I have to decide which version then to get. There's the deluxe edition with a mini art book and the code for the digital soundtrack. This is available at retailers. But from the NIS stores in America and in the UK, not the European store, you can obtain the limited edition, which is the deluxe edition with the soundtrack on CD, an acrylic standee and an art card, all contained within a collector's box. And did I say action? Probably the biggest surprise and hottest item from the February Nintendo Direct was immediately available in the Switch eShop, but the physical edition of Metroid Prime Remastered will be available from March 3rd in Europe, and you Americans already have it. If I need to tell you about this title, then where have you been? It's the best title on the Switch this year so far, and one of the best of all time. The physical edition should have a reversible cover. We have another remaster on March 3rd, Demon Gaze Extra. With updated visuals and some extra content, this will be the first time Demon Gaze will be playable on a Nintendo. If you're going to get this one, consider the Day 1 edition from Red Art Games for the same price as the standard version, which has a reversible cover, a healing staff and armor gems gift set. I assume these last two are in-game only. Link for Red Art Games is in the description. The fourth game in the survival horror series Fatal Frame, titled Mask of the Lunar Eclipse, originally came out on Nintendo Wii, but never outside of Japan. For a physical edition, we again can only look at Japan, but the rest of the world can at least get to experience the remaster through the Switch eShop. While we may not be getting a new Fatal Frame entry anytime soon, this is as close as we can get for now. Available from March 9th. Mato Anomalies has been on my radar for quite some time, partially because it will have a Day 1 edition, which contains an art book. It's a turn-based RPG set in two different worlds, one being a neo-futuristic old Shanghai, the other one you can enter by discovering rifts, so it requires some exploration and investigation. It's not a visual novel, but inspired by the genre, which in my opinion gives it a unique potential. Release is on March 10th. Less than half a year ago we had the remaster of the JRPG Legends of Heroes Trails from Zero. Now on March 17 the story continues in the remaster of Trails to Azure, set just a few months later. While the Americas get a standard edition, Europe gets a deluxe edition, available at retailers, containing the digital soundtrack and a mini art book. NIS stores in America and in the UK have the limited edition available, with the soundtrack on CD, a hardcover art book, a cloth poster, an acrylic stand and a steelbook, all contained within the collector's box. Again, links in the description. The crazy looking action adventure Cult of the Lamb is already available on the eShop, but on March 17 we can get our hands on the physical copy. Besides the standard edition, there's a deluxe edition with the soundtrack on CD and an art book. SpecialReserveGames.com got into the action on this game, but the two special editions are already sold out. So getting one of them means waiting till they are shipped and someone decides to put it on eBay. But they also have a standard edition available. The classic survival horror game Signalis has a strangely realistic but pixelated look. The game is already out on the eShop, but on March 17 the physical version will be released. We already saw a lot of Bayonetta Origins, Cereza and the Lost Demon, but on March 17 we can finally find out if the gameplay will be fun. I imagine you already decided if the changed visual style is of your liking. While you can still pre-order your game, a steelbook can be obtained from different retailers and the My Nintendo store, at least in Europe. Remnant from the Ashes is a third-person action survival shooter in a post-apocalyptic world overrun by monsters. It's already available since 2019 on most platforms, but the Switch gets a port released on March 21st. If the port is a good one, it might be worth it considering the high scores this game gets. Released a year ago on Steam, Have a Nice Death will now come to the Switch on March 22nd. You play as an overworked Grim Reaper in a roguelike action adventure, and the hand-drawn art style looks really awesome. It's only available in the Switch eShop unfortunately, so no physical edition. What can I say? Ryza is apparently an adult now, meaning you can feel less guilty while playing the RPG Atelier Ryza 3, Alchemist of the End and The Secret Key, which is not a long title at all, but it does rhyme. While you can hit your retailer on March 24th to get the standard edition, the Koei Tecmo stores in Europe and in the US have two different versions available. The premium box contains a cloth poster, an art book, two special files, a mini acrylic character charm and an early access code for a costume. The special collection box contains the premium box, plus an original keycase, an A1 tapestry, series box art acrylic charms and a set of 12 illustration cards. Now I know some of you will be wondering about this, but unlike the last SpongeBob game, there is no version available with a blow-up doll. But I'm sure that if you go to Japan, you might find one. Let's move on to March 31st to sneak around in Hello Neighbor 2. Again, the Switch is lost to the party, but you can get it 5 days earlier if you go for the deluxe edition, which contains the free DLCs. If you really can't wait for Advance Wars to have your warfare, you can get your hands on different versions of Front Mission First Remake. Retailers get a limited edition which hold a printed manual, a lenticular and 2 lithographs. But the limited edition at foreverlimited.com contains a collection box, a reversible cover, a steelbook, the manual, 3 metal pins and a numbered certificate. Or you could get their exclusive edition with a different collector's box, doesn't have the metal pins or the steelbook, but instead has a paintable resin-cast diorama. Really for collectors, cause if you really can't wait for your warfare, you probably already got the game from the eShop. I looked up the description for Dredge, which starts as follows. Dredge is a single-player fishing adventure with a sinister undercurrent. Did you hear the pun? Now I'm no fishing kind of guy, but that sinister undercurrent does make me wonder if the adventure part might be worth picking this up. It comes out on March 30th as a deluxe edition, which has a poster, a sticker set, the soundtrack, an art book and the Blackstone DLC. Ankora Last Days and Deiland Pocket Planet gets a physical release, at least in Europe. On March 31st you can get this Survival Adventure Standard Edition, or you can get the Collector's Edition, which has a double-sided poster, the soundtrack on CD, a sticker sheet, an art book, a keychain and a pin. That's all I have for March, but please have a look at a few titles that will come out later and you might want to consider looking up and maybe pre-ordering, as these are hot items. And that's the end of this release report. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it and I hope that the information was useful to you. If so, please hit the like button and consider subscribing. This was Nintendo Maniac and I'll see you soon.